Good day everyone, I'm Richie Arceo and I'm here again at CSA Medical Aesthetics for another procedure. I think it's gonna be thread lifting. Before I had my ColShine procedure, you can see, well, a lot of people are saying there's a lot of changes in my face, maybe because of the collagen and the ColShine procedure I had here. The procedure for me today is called cog thread, so there'll be inserting threads to maybe lift my face because doctor said I needed lifting already. Well, of course, because of aging, I'm already 55, so that's gonna be a great treat for my face. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to the CSA Medical Aesthetics. I'm Dr. Contessa, your certified aesthetic physician. In today's episode, we have a follow-up. Let's welcome Ma'am Richie Arceo.
Hello, good day everyone.
Hi,
I'm back.
Rich.
Yes, Doc. Hi.
The last treatment was about 6 months ago. So what we did was ColShine.
Yeah.
Prior to that, we also did the so-called periorbital rejuvenation. We worked on the areas around the eye. And I don't know if you can
Still
remember the Fox Eye Thread Lift, which was done about a year and a half.
Oh.
Yeah, more than a year already.
Yeah.
Then also some fillers on the temple and also under eye area. Remember that?
Yeah.
So, combination of fillers and threads. Okay. So, more than 1 year na, Ma'am Rich.
Bilis.
I know, right? But, looking at you,
Yes.
Kinda
Thanks
like-
to you.
nag-narrow yung face, nag-slim ka, and you still look refreshed. What's the secret?
You.
Yan. So, this is what we've been talking about, these non-surgical treatments. Over time, because they're stimulating collagen formation, they still will have an effect. So, like, you didn't do a treatment after 3 months or like months. So, they will still have some effect, okay? So, if we also have healthy lifestyle, yan, adequate sleep, yun, adequate hydration.
Yeah.
Kasi the others don't drink too much of water eh. Yan. So, it will also help in prolonging the effects of those non-surgical treatments that we've been doing. Yan. So far, okay pa rin yung quality of skin, texture of the skin. Yan. However, aging is a continuous process.
I know.
Yun. Meron nga sa isang textbook, on a daily basis daw, there's a decrease or a decline of our proteins in our tissues. So, merong nabibreak on a daily basis. Although yung collagen, merong ding paper saying that in a year daw, yung total na nawawala is about 1 to 1.5% a year. Yan. And it will start to decrease at the age of 25.
Wow.
So, yearly yan. So, 1.5% a year times 25, ilan na yon? Ilang percent na yon?
Okay.
So, above 30% na? Something like that. When we reach the age of 50s, yun! Malaking percentage na ang collagen that got depleted. Since aging is continuous, it's physiologically happening on a daily basis. And we have to do something to also combat the aging process. Kasi ang aging, may aging from inside, which is the intrinsic aging, and may aging from the outside, the extrinsic aging. Yung mga extrinsic yan, from sun exposure, your daily lifestyle, your diet, yan. Or your over fatigue ka or stress ka lagi sa work. Yan. So, they will accelerate the aging. Yan. Masipag ka, nagpupuyat ka. Yan. Yung intrinsic, yun. We cannot control that because they're happening inside. So, ito na yung mga physiological and biochemical processes happening internally. So, what we can, we have a control on the extrinsic. So, avoiding too much sun exposure or your lifestyle, yung diet mo. Yan. Yun, may control tayo. So, intrinsically, nag-age tayo. So, what can we do? Like, inside our skin tissues, continuous ang collagen breakdown. Continuous yung yung mga nagbi-build na collagen, nadideplete din agad. But then, the production then decreases. So, decreased production, increased destruction.
Right.
Yun. So, tilted yung pathway ng, yung balance ng production and degradation. So, we have to do something with the aging process. That's why we're here. We're talking about this non-surgical approaches or non-invasive treatments or minimally invasive procedures to also combat the aging. And the manifestation of aging is a so-called 3-letter Ds. The first D is the so-called descent. Ayan na, you'll see na yung mga paglawlaw. So, droop eyelids. Then, yung saggy cheek area or these jowls going down. So, that first letter D is the descent. So, from aging, also pull of gravity and other factors. Yung second letter D, yung tinatawag nilang depletion. Nadideplete nga ang mga collagen, elastins, and another mga important structures inside our system. Yung third letter D, degeneration. Ayan, nagde-degenerate na. Degenerative diseases. Kaya ngayon, uso yung regenerative medicine. Okay, so we're here to do another treatment for Ma'am Richie to address those aging signs, the descent, the depletion, and the degeneration. So we'll show the treatment when we return. And we're back. So, Ma'am Rich, we will be doing the lifting of the corner of the eye. So, it's kind of like a booster for the fox eye thread lift we've done more than a year ago. So, we'll pull this upward like this. And then, we'll also be doing mid-face lifting and this lower third lifting using our PDO cog thread. So, I'll start with injecting lidocaine on our treatment area. So, I'll start with this lateral canthal line here. So, just inject your lidocaine there. You're good, Ate Rich. So, we already have an idea of this kind of treatment. We have done this how many times na ba? So, we'll make an entry point here. So, I'm using the Royal Cog thread. It's also like a double cog thread. And this is 60mm length of a cannula. So, we had an entry point here. So, I'll use another puncture point there. So, I'll follow the so-called lateral canthal line first. So, here. So, this is the first one. And I'll pinch the skin and just glide it in the subcutaneous layer or layer 2. So, we want to reach the so-called this part here of the temple area here, posterior part. So, we'll just glide it here. So, Ma'am Rich, parang feeling mo, it's like your hair is being pulled backwards lang. So, we'll do one there. Then, we'll just pull it out. And then, second one here. So, 1 cm interval for this kind of treatment. So, again, the goal is to pull the corner of the eye or the upper eyelid. Or you can also do this for brow lifting for those with droopy or saggy eyebrows. So, this is the second one. So, usually, I apply 3 pieces of this per side. Some cases, we use like 5 pieces depending on how drooped the area is or how saggy the area is. And then, I'll be inserting the third one. So, this is a Royal Cog thread, double cog type. It's kind of like a double of the so-called spiral cog thread. and it's made up of your PDO or polydioxanone. So these are absorbable types of threads. So usually they get absorbed in, for example, for the cog threads, up to 12 months. And then the hydrolysis of this, so the material will just naturally turn into carbon and oxygen. So natural metabolism in our tissues. So everything will just return to your so-called carbon and oxygen. Okay, so pull this up. So I've done the right side here. So we started with Ma'am Rich working on the upper half of her face. So now we're working on, next will be the lower half of the face. So we're just cutting the strands that are exposed. Okay, so we'll just do pressure here. Now we'll do mid facelift and also the so-called lower facelift. I'll give a lidocaine again. So my lidocaine is made up of a tumescent solution. So when you say tumescent, it's a mixture of your saline with lidocaine, sodium bicarbonate, and your epinephrine to prevent any bleeding there. So again, this is our tumescent solution or anesthesia. So I'm just numbing the area that we will work on. So I'll use my first PDO cog thread. So I'll have my first entry point here. So I'll be doing separate entry points for my cog lifting. So my goal here is to reposition the saggy nasolabial fold and restore it to its original position on the posterior part of the face. So entering this puncture area here, and I'll glide in the from subcutaneous to the SMAS layer. So this is actually a gauge 18 cannula. So we'll just glide it onto the zygoma there. So I'll be advancing it. So we have the so-called SMAS layer here. So lifting the nasolabial. Okay, that's one. And then I'll use a second one. So I'm using a thicker kind of a PDO cog thread. So if you use this thicker cog, there's a stronger pull or stronger lift of those saggy tissues. So it's expected some pinpoint bleed because we're using needles here. So my second entry point. So my vector is, or the direction of my pull is kind of like a semi-horizontal one. So we just want to strengthen the lateral part of the face and lift the medial tissues, the medial saggy tissues here. Okay, so I'm advancing it here, and then I'm gonna be on the third one. So some of the procedures that I've done in the past, we use single entry point for a lot of cog threads, but since I'm using a thicker cog thread, I'm doing separate entry points, and I'm following a certain pattern here and a vector here. So we have the so-called fixing point. So this is my fixing point here at the posterior part, and we hang it at the medial part. So the so-called hanging point, fixing point, and then we also have our direction. And in terms of the anatomical layer, we want to reach the so-called SMAS layer in this area here. So on your lower half of your face, we target the SMAS and the fat pads, those tissues that had sag. So we're advancing to this part here. Okay. And then I'm working now on the mandibular area. So done with the maxillary part. Okay. So this is again a tumescent anesthesia. We want to numb the tissues beneath the surface of the skin because we're placing barbed threads or thick threads here. So this is a cannula with gauge 18 for my cog. Now for those asking me the solution to miscent anesthesia, I'm using that needle gauge 30 with kind of like a longer length, 38 millimeter. And this is the cog that I'm using. It's in a gauge 18 cannula. So advancing this again. So I'm on the second to the last. So it's like doing a full facelift using our cog threads. So this is a gauge 18 cannula. So there are cases I use gauge 19 or gauge 21 cannula and then just puncture, then insert your cannula into the puncture point. So actually this part here we have some resistance because of a lot of connective tissues here, fibrous tissues there. So we're reaching the so-called marionette line or labiomandibular fold here, and then a last one, final one here, and we'll just glide the lidocaine, lidocaine, and lidocaine. So we have a thick barbed thread. These kinds of threads will really last long. So the barbed thread, they have some directions. So there are barbed threads with bidirectional or multi-bidirectional. And bidirectional threads are so good in contouring the face. So if you want to contour, you can use your bidirectional. But if you want more of just like a lifting, a balanced lift, you can use the multiple bidirectional with some collagen biostimulation. There you go. So we've done the insertions of these cog threads. We'll just be cutting out the exposed threads here. So 2 for the lower third and 3 for the mid third. So let's proceed to the left side. So we've done the cog thread lifting. We'll show the result when we return. And we're back. Let's show the result to Ma'am Rich. Ate Rich. There you go. So we did the cog thread lifting from the upper third, the corner of the eyes, the tail of the eyebrow. We used those royal cog threads, double cog thread. And also on the mid-face, we used those PDO cog threads to lift this saggy nasolabial fold or kind of reposition saggy cheeks or ptotic cheeks. On the lower third, we also lifted those labiomandibular fold using our PDO cog threads. So how are you, Ma'am Rich, so far?
So far, I'm okay. I just can't smile.
Yes, because there's still this effect of the lidocaine injections plus the pulling up of those cog threads. So actually, you're feeling some tightness already there. You're feeling those cog threads really pulling the tissues inside. Yan. But so far, the feeling of having those injections, tolerable.
Yeah.
So far, tolerable, right? Because we also injected those anesthesia, the lidocaine. It's a 2% solution. So that will help in numbing those tissues that we have to lift or we have to reposition, right? And the entry points are on the sides of the face. So right now, we still have those visible entry points, but few days, they're gone already. They're closed already. Usually, a day or two, they're closed already. Now, with Ma'am Rich, the goal is to, again, to, lift the saggy tissues. And we also want to recontour the face. So right now, you've been hearing about those V-contour or hugis bigas. The ideal face shape for women is actually the oval shape or yung parang inverted egg. That's the ideal shape. Or we also have the so-called triangle of youth, yung parang inverted triangle. So for Ma'am Rich, we can still do some other treatments. For example, the Botox here, if you have really this wide angle or the so-called masseter muscle, we inject it with Botox to narrow the lower part of the face. The other thing that we do is also to help the fat tissues be reduced. If you have excess fats, we do mesofat injections. And the others, we do also the chin filler to elongate, to have that V contour. Kay Ma'am Rich, cute sa kanya yung medyo yung pa-oval, di ba? Because it's more feminine. Although right now, some women would want to have this angled jawline. It's like a model look. Europeans, they have this kind of like angled on this part of their mandible, posterior mandible. Yan. So, sa Asians, cute daw yung may a little bit round shape pa rin or oval shape. So, it's still cute and it will make you look a lot younger. So, for us, this age na above 50s, yan. So, we want to lift, we want to have this kind of like also a good contour, a V contour, and not have the saggy jowls, yan. And then also, we work on the neck area. So, next time, we'll check on this under the chin. The others kasi, they're talking about the turkey neck or gobble neck. Yan. So, the kind of treatment we did for Ma'am Rich is thread lifting to target those saggy and ptotic soft tissues. Thank you so much, Ate Rich.
Thank you, Doc.
Okay, so if you have any questions, you may email us at csaskinclinic@yahoo.com, our FB page, CSA Medical Aesthetics, Instagram, CSA Medical Aesthetics. Our clinic is located here at the Infinity Shop, Pulong Maragul, Angeles City. Contact number 0933-860-9193 or 0917504426. Ate Rich, meron ka bang social media if they want to follow you?
Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
Richie Arceo.
Richie Arceo. So, the others who would want to check on you again, say hi to you, how was the experience? Yan. Yun po, Instagram and Facebook ni Ate Rich. Okay? So, God bless you all.
Yes, and see you again.
Yes.
God bless everyone.
Amen. When it comes to natural beauty, you can trust the CSA Medical Aesthetics.